Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into what might be the single most bizarre, chaotic, and downright dangerous event in Olympic history, the 1904 St. Louis Marathon. Forget everything you know about modern marathons. This was less of an athletic competition and more of a real-life disaster movie. The year is 1904. The Olympics are being held in St. Louis, Missouri, as part of the World's Fair. It's August, it's sweltering hot, and the organizers have planned a marathon. What could possibly go wrong? Well, just about everything. Let's set the scene. The race started in the afternoon, under a blazing sun with temperatures soaring to over 90 degrees Fahrenheit, or 32 Celsius. The course was a dusty, unpaved country road, full of hills and loose gravel. And get this, there was only one water station on the entire 4.85-mile course. It was a well near the halfway point. To make matters worse, the race route was shared with cars, delivery wagons, and even trains, all kicking up thick clouds of dust that coated the runners, filled their lungs, and made it nearly impossible to breathe. 32 runners from 4 countries lined up at the start, a mix of seasoned athletes and a few brave, or perhaps foolish, amateurs. From the very beginning, it was clear this wasn't going to be a normal race. The conditions were brutal. The dust was so bad that one runner, an American named William Garcia, was found lying on the side of the road, nearly dead. The dust had coated his esophagus and stomach lining, causing severe hemorrhaging. He was rushed to the hospital and spent the next few days fighting for his life. Thankfully, he survived, but he would never run competitively again. Another runner, John Lorden, suffered a severe bout of vomiting and simply gave up. But the stories only get weirder from here. Let's talk about the first man to cross the finish line, Fred Lors of the United States. The crowd went wild. He was crowned the winner, and Alice Roosevelt, the daughter of President Teddy Roosevelt, was about to place a laurel wreath on his head. But just as she was about to do it, an official shouted from the crowd, "Stop. This man is an imposter. He didn't run the whole race." It turned out that around the 9-mile mark, Lors had started suffering from severe cramps. So, what did he do? He hopped into his manager's car and rode for the next 11 miles. The car then conveniently broke down, so Lors, feeling refreshed, decided to jog the rest of the way to the finish line, waving at spectators as he went. When confronted, he claimed it was all just a joke. A joke. Needless to say, the officials weren't laughing. He was given a lifetime ban, though it was later lifted, and he actually went on to legitimately win the Boston Marathon the following year. But at St. Louis, his victory was a complete sham. So, with the fake winner disqualified, who was the real champion? That would be Thomas Hicks, a British-born American runner. But his story is perhaps the most shocking of all. Hicks was struggling badly. By the midway point, he was exhausted and begging his trainers for water, but they refused. Instead, they gave him a concoction that would be considered highly illegal today. His trainers, Charles Lucas and Hugh McGrath, decided to help him with the special formula. They gave him a dose of strychnine sulfate mixed with egg whites. Strychnine, in case you don't know, is a powerful stimulant in small doses, but it's also a highly toxic poison commonly used as rat poison. It was thought to improve performance, but it was incredibly dangerous. The first dose seemed to revive Hicks, and he started running again, albeit in a zombie-like state. But a few miles later, he was fading fast. He was pale, delirious, and could barely lift his legs. His trainers saw him faltering and decided he needed another boost, so they gave him another dose of strychnine, this time washed down with a large swig of brandy. Remember, all this was happening on a dusty road in blistering heat with no water. Somehow, Hicks kept going. His trainers were practically carrying him, half dragging, half pushing him toward the finish line. He was hallucinating, shuffling along like a man possessed. When he finally staggered into the stadium, he was a complete wreck. His trainers had to carry him over the finish line, lifting his feet in a running motion as he crossed. He collapsed immediately. He had lost 8 pounds during the race and was in critical condition. It took 4 doctors an hour to revive him. Had he been given one more dose of the strychnine and brandy cocktail, it almost certainly would have killed him. And for all this, he was declared the Olympic champion. But wait, the chaos doesn't end there. Let's talk about some of the other competitors. There was a Cuban postman named Felix Carvajal. He was a crowd favorite. He had lost all his money in a dice game in New Orleans on his way to St. Louis, so he had to hitchhike the rest of the way. He showed up to the starting line in his street clothes, a long-sleeved shirt, long pants, and heavy walking shoes. A sympathetic bystander took pity on him and cut his pants off at the knees to make them into shorts. During the race, Carvajal was doing surprisingly well. He was cheerful, stopping to chat with spectators along the route. At one point, he got hungry. Seeing an apple orchard by the side of the road, he decided to take a little snack break. He ate a bunch of apples, but unfortunately, they were rotten. This gave him intense stomach cramps, forcing him to lie down and take a nap to recover. Despite his nap and his snack break, he still managed to finish in 4th place. Imagine what he could have done without the rotten apples. Then there were Len Tonyan and Jan Mashiani, 2 runners from South Africa. They were the first black African athletes to ever compete in the Olympics. They were in St. Louis as part of the Boer War exhibition at the World's Fair. They ran the marathon barefoot. Tonyan, who was a Swana tribesman, actually had a pretty good run going and was in the lead pack for a while. But his race took a strange turn when he was chased nearly a mile off course by a pack of aggressive stray dogs. He still managed to fight them off and get back on track to finish in 9th place. An incredible feat under the circumstances. Out of the 32 starters, only 14 actually finished the race. The finishing times were the slowest in Olympic marathon history, with Thomas Hicksey's winning time of 3 hours and 28 minutes being over 30 minutes slower than the previous winner. The event was such a disaster that the marathon was almost removed from the Olympics for good. Organizers seriously questioned whether the human body was even capable of running such a distance under competitive conditions. But thankfully, cooler heads prevailed. The 1908 London Olympics featured a much better organized marathon, which helped save the event and set the standard for future races. So, what can we take away from the 1904 St. Louis Marathon? It stands as a wild, almost comical testament to how far sports science, safety, and event organization have come. It was a perfect storm of poor planning, extreme weather, and some truly questionable performance enhancers. It's a story of human endurance pushed to its absolute limit, and in some cases, well beyond it. It's a race that gave us a fake winner who took a car, a real winner who was high on rat poison, and brandy, a postman who took a nap, and a runner who had to fight off a pack of dogs. You simply can't make this stuff up. It remains, without a doubt, the strangest marathon ever run, and a fascinating, if terrifying, chapter in the history of the Olympic Games. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this trip back to the craziest race in history, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into incredible historical events. Let me know in the comments what other bizarre moments in history you'd like me to cover. See you in the next one.